How to read Chapter 1, The Invisible Architecture of the Universe. Before we discovered equations, before we built sensors, satellites, or supercomputers, we lived inside an invisible world we could not yet see. Every moment of your life, you are swimming in an ocean of shifting, shimmering forces, electric fields, magnetic currents, photons, waves, pulses, and changes. They pass through walls, through air, through your body, sometimes gently, sometimes with explosive power. Most of the time, you never notice them, but they notice you. They shape you. They define the world you live in. This is the electrodynamic universe, the original ancient network of interactions that existed long before life, long before intelligence, and long before any creature had the idea of mind. Yet hidden inside these forces is something deeper, a pattern, a behavior, a tendency toward organization, balance, and sometimes something that looks surprisingly close to intelligence. The first clues. Imagine an early scientist, one of the first to notice that something unseen was at work in the world. He rubs a piece of amber with cloth, and suddenly tiny bits of straw leap toward it, as if the stone had acquired a personality. It pulls, it reaches, it influences, it acts. Centuries later, sailors would watch lightning crawl across the sky like veins of living fire, not knowing that they were witnessing the largest electrical computations in nature, vast networks of charge redistributing themselves, solving problems of imbalance at breathtaking speed. No equations, no deliberate thought. Yet these processes showed purpose-like behavior, seeking equilibrium, minimizing tension, finding pathways. If you saw this happening inside a machine, you might call it a form of intelligence. A universe that touches without touching. Electrodynamics is the science of influence at a distance. Nothing has to physically collide for something to change. A storm cloud tens of kilometers away can reach into the ground beneath your feet, pulling on charges, arranging forces, preparing the world for an event that will happen in a single, violent instant. A neuron can feel another neuron nearby. A circuit can decide which path current takes based on its internal landscape. A single electron can adjust the behavior of many others simply by existing. This is the invisible architecture, the world behind the world. Every electric charge, every magnetic alignment, every fluctuation of a field is a message about what's happening around it. The universe is constantly communicating with itself. Some people look at this and see physics. Others see possibility. The first spark of a new idea. What if these patterns of influence, the way charge flows, the way fields reconfigure, the way systems self-adjust, are more than just mechanical reactions? What if they represent an early, primitive form of intelligence? Not human intelligence, not symbolic reasoning, something older, a kind of intelligence that emerges when a system senses its environment, adapts to constraints, balances competing forces, finds the most stable configuration, and responds differently based on context. Electrical systems do this continuously, effortlessly, and everywhere. In nature, intelligence is not always thinking. Sometimes intelligence is response, and electrodynamic systems are masters of response. A living landscape of forces walk outside on a hot day. The air shimmers, the horizon wavers, and power lines hum softly overhead. Without noticing it, your body synchronizes with the electric fields around you. Your heart, your nerves, your muscles, all operating through the same fundamental principles. You are an electrodynamic being, living inside an electrodynamic world. If you could see the patterns around you, the fields, the pulses, the flows, you'd see something that resembles networks, pathways, feedback loops, dynamic adjustments, and self-consistent structures that emerge and dissolve. It looks less like random motion and more like organization. Some physicists, engineers, and neuroscientists have quietly asked the same question. Are electrodynamic systems capable of a kind of intelligence? Not metaphorically, but literally. This book explores that question. The journey ahead. This chapter opens the door. In the chapters ahead, we will explore how physical systems sense their environment, how fields encode information, how energy flows can create feedback loops, how patterns stabilize and adapt, and how these behaviors parallel the fundamentals of intelligence. No equations, no formalism here, just the intuitive, story-driven essence of the ideas. To understand electrodynamic intelligence, we begin with a simple realization. The universe is not silent. It is constantly adjusting, responding, balancing, and learning through the flow of energy and the dance of forces. And we are only beginning to understand what that means.